officer in a high containment research laboratory handling infectious agents. So recently, there have been concerns regarding inadequate biosecurity protocols, improper waste disposal, and potential risk of pathogen exposure. So our task is to strengthen biosafety and biosecurity measures to ensure the safe handling of hazardous biological materials. So we move on to the introduction. So for introduction, first of all, I want to clarify what are the biosafety and also biosecurity. So to start, biosafety is a safety measures that taken to protect people and the environment from accidental exposure to infectious agent and hazardous biological material. So it then focuses on containment, self-handling, and disposal of biological material. So biosecurity then strategies and actions to prevent unauthorized access, theft, loss, and misuse of dangerous agents. So it includes things like outdoor security checks, smart workers, inventory tracking, and also computer protection. So together, biosafety and biosecurity both put hand in hand to maintain safe, secure, and responsible laboratory environments when working with infectious agents. So next is what are the three main roles of biosafety officers. So the first one is to developing and implementing safety programs. So this is to create and update policies, procedures, and protocols to ensure safe handling of biological materials. For the second one is to training and also advising the staff. So this provide education and guidance on biosafety practices, waste disposal, and also emergency response. So for last one, for monitoring and also compliance. So we conduct inspections, investigate incidents, and ensure adherence to regulatory and safety standards. So next we move on to include
Okay, so one of the main challenges under this case study is inadequate biosecurity protocol. So what is inadequate biosecurity protocol? So it is a safety rules system and practices are meant to protect against loss, theft, misuse or release of any infectious materials like biological agents as well as toxins that is exposed outside of the lab. So inadequate biosecurity protocols can result from unclear or incomplete results, poor enforcement, lack of staff training, weak security, insufficient monitoring, and failure to regularly assess and update security measures. So examples of inadequate biosecurity protocols are firstly biological agents. So biological agents, for example, accidental loss of biological agents or the release of biological agents outside of the laboratory. So unauthorized release of biological agents such as the test tube that virus contained in the test tube that is exposed outside of the lab. The next is physical security. So physical security is sabotage of laboratory equipment, inappropriate maintenance or laboratory facilities such as broken test tubes or uncalibrated laboratory instruments. Next is personnel. So personnel is actually emphasizing on an individual on biosecurity incidents caused by insiders such as stealing and risk of personnel and facilities. And last example is information security, where unauthorized access or loss of sensitive data such as research or genetic information that is released outside of the laboratory and discontinuation of operation due to cyber attacks such as hackers that hacks through the biosecurity system. So what are the factors that contribute to inadequate biosecurity protocols? So there is four. The first one is insufficient funding and resources. So budget limitation can prevent accidental loss of biological agents. Usage of advanced security systems such as biometric scanners and surveillance cameras are necessity in terms of maintaining this biosecurity protocol. Next is human negligence and complacency. Staff may become overconfident or careless in handling infectious materials such as sharing access card can lead to breaches in the system. Next is lack of leadership commitment. So lacking of this can affect the management of the laboratory system as well as neglect security procedures and fail to take potential risk to security. training can cause failure to conduct specific procedure on the laboratory testing, as well as unaware of the latest biosecurity requirements when doing the laboratory testing. So what are the solutions in order to address the inadequate biosecurity protocols? Number one is personal competence and training, meaning to have a high-value workshop for trainers who is handling under laboratory management. Next is facility security and access regulation. Improving facility security helps prevent unauthorized access and biohazard materials or misuse. Next is safe disposal of high consequence materials. For example, biological agents that are make sure to be destroyed or disposed safely in a proper procedure. And lastly, inventory control and laboratory equipment. Maintain an updated inventory of all biological materials, equipment and reagents to track usage and the storage of those particular materials.
Okay, so next is improper disposal of hazard biological waste. So basically, improper disposal of these it will pose as a significant risk to biosafety and also biosecurity within the laboratory settings. So basically, this issue occurs when sharp contaminated materials or infectious samples are handled and also discarded incorrectly. So some of the examples are improper labeling of waste, insufficient cleaning or decontamination before the disposal, and also poor segregation of waste types. So basically, these challenges it may increase the risk of accidental infection, laboratory acquired diseases, and also environmental contamination, which will cause a broader threat to the public health and also national security. Okay, now next move on to the factor contributing to the improper waste of disposal. So firstly is the insufficient training and also awareness. So many laboratory personnel is lack of knowledge of the waste classification and also the safe disposal procedure. So without this adequate knowledge and also the understanding, error like this most likely to occur during the handling and also disposal. Next is lack of proper management infrastructure. So some of the laboratory they doesn't have any facilities like the color coded bins, the system, and also the functional autoclave. So this the absence of essential tools like this it makes it difficult to handle the biological waste safely. Furthermore, is inadequate enforcement of SOP. So the standard operation procedure are sometimes poorly enforced due to the weak supervision and also inconsistent adherence to the safety guidelines, which lead to unsafe disposal habits. And lastly is weak monitoring and record keeping. So without a proper documentation and also waste tracking system, it has become difficult to monitor the disposal practice and also to identify areas that need improvement. Next, we move on to the proposed solution. Okay, so in order to reduce the biosafety risk and to improve the biosecurity, several corrective action can be implemented. So firstly is enhance the training and also competencies development. So basically we can conduct regular and also mandatory biosafety trainings for the training section for all the staff in the lab. So the training should cover our waste segregation, contamination procedure and also emergency response in case any emergency case happen. Example like any bacterial exposure. And next is upgrade the waste management infrastructure. So basically the laboratory should provide the equipment, color-coded bins and also clearly labeled bins so that various waste type can be thrown away. So autoclave also can be routinely maintained and also calibrated and also inspect so that it will function properly. Next is strengthen the SOP and also compliance monitoring. So the waste management guidelines must be regularly updated based on the WHO and also CDC standards. So the regular example like regular internal audits, inspection and also incident reporting system should be enforced to ensure the compliance. Next. Okay. So next is implement a waste tracking and also documentation system. So basically introduce a manual or digital logbook to record the details of the waste generation, treatment and also the disposal. So basically this will improve the traceability and also the accountability. Number 5 is foster a strong and also safety culture. So encourage a workplace culture that values safety, open communication and also the personal responsibility. So the staff should be empowered to report the unsafe practice without any fear to the higher ups. And lastly is collaboration with certified waste disposal services. So basically this is to partner up with licensed biomedical waste disposal company, which should ensure that the waste is treated and also discarded properly according to the legal and also environmental standards. So the examples in the Malaysia is Tax Cycle, Sandwiro and also Pentas Flora for the disposal, and also analytical laboratories such as SGS, ARIFFIN and also ANA scientific resources for the waste analysis. Now I'll pass to Shankar.
Okay, so I'll be talking about the potential risk and exposure. As we all know, pathogens are tiny organisms that can make you sick if they get inside your body. So working in labs, there are high risk of the lab technicians dealing with infectious materials possesses several potential risks of pathogen exposure. So lab personnel are at risk of infection through accidental spills, splashes or needle stick injuries when handling samples. So there are various types of potential risks such as accidental risk, occupational risk, environmental risk, public health risks and security risks. So let's talk about accidental risk first. It occurs unintentionally in labs or workplaces such as spills, broken containers, needle stick injuries or inhalation of infectious aerosols. Secondly is occupational risk. It affects lab technicians, especially our researchers that are handling infectious materials that is contaminated or has microbial presence there. And thirdly is environmental risk, where it happens when pathogens escape into air, soil or water through poor waste disposal or accidents leading in wider contamination. And fourthly is public health risk, where pathogen exposure can trigger local outbreaks such as epidemics and pandemics, even if not contaminated quickly. And finally is security risk. Security is deliberately misuse of dangerous pathogens for bioterrorism or biowarfare threatening national or global security. So, in order to, there are various challenges in this risk, such as there is human and also there is technical and infrastructure. So, let's see the challenges of human factors. Firstly is negligence or carelessness during laboratory procedures. Secondly is failure to follow the standard operating procedures. Thirdly is poor communication or coordination among staff members. And fourthly is incorrect or inconsistent use of personal protective equipment. And the challenges for technical and infrastructure are malfunctioning of poorly maintained safety equipment, and then inadequate laboratory design or facilities not meeting proper biosafety levels, and insufficient supply of quality of PPE and disinfectants, and finally limited financial resources for biosafety upgrades and maintenance. In order to face all these challenges, we have solutions for human factors and also infrastructure technical. So for the human factors, we can conduct refresher courses and drills to maintain awareness and readiness for the lab technicians who are working in labs. And secondly is enforcing strict SOP for the lab technicians who are working. And thirdly is encourage open communication and teamwork to report risks or incidents. Everyone should communicate and report every incident that is happening in their lab. And finally is recognize and reward safe behavior to motivate compliance. So this will actually motivate them to do better and avoid potential risks. And finally is a solution for infrastructure and technical. We can allocate adequate funding for biosafety improvement and maintenance, or we can also ask funding or sponsorship from other bigger companies to help with the lab. And secondly is maintaining and routinely inspect safety equipment. Thirdly is ensure reliable supply of PPE, disinfectants and decontamination tools. And finally upgrade laboratories to meet the correct biosafety levels standards. Now I'll pass it to Husna.
laboratory, including some insufficient biosecurity procedures, inappropriate waste disposal, and also potential risk of pathogen exposure, can cause serious risk to lab workers and public health. So, as the biosafety officers, approaches like improving facility security, applying a waste tracking and documentation system, carrying out the routine training and monitoring can help to reduce the risk of pathogen exposure. So overall, by resolving all these issues that my team has already discussed, the lab can maintain a safe laboratory environment and operate safely without the risk of releasing infectious agents. So that's all from us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
These are our references.